Hey, welcome back. And in today's video, we're going to talk about Tesla's Q3 earnings report that was just recently released. And we're going to talk about how there were mixed feelings among the investment community as to how Elon acted on the call, as well as the decreased margins and poor guidance moving forward. Now, some investors are even completely selling out of their Tesla positions. And in this video, I want to figure out what the truth is behind this earnings report and if it's really as big as a deal as some make it out to be. First, let's start off with their decreasing margins. With margins falling for yet another quarter, many investors are starting to lose faith in their "it's not just a car company" mantra. And Tesla's margins have not been declining because of a rising set of costs, but rather because they are dropping the prices of their cars dramatically to stimulate more demand for their vehicles. Although they have continued to increase the amount of vehicles that they sell, this practice has meant that their profits did not follow suit, and many see the decrease in margins as a sign that the tech multiple that they were given might have been a mistake. Now, personally, I'm not trying to trade my way to a short-term profit with Tesla, and I think the only people who should be upset with this are those who have a time constraint on their investment in Tesla, whether that's in options or for some reason they just need the money in the next 6 to 12 months. But those investors who can see the larger picture and wait for 10 to 15 years will see this as a great opportunity to get shares for a cheaper price and lower their average. Now, the reason I say this is because during a time of increased volatility and uncertainty, it's important to revisit your central thesis on the opportunity of investing in Tesla if you currently hold shares and are shaken by this news of this new quarterly report. Now, I can't speak for any other investor in Tesla, but my 7 reasons for holding this stock are as follows. They are a leader in self-driving technology. They have a killer management team. They're also a leader in sustainable energy production and storage. Their manufacturing capabilities, their supercharging network, their Dojo AI computer, and finally, their Optimus robot in the future. Now, what do all of these have in common? None of them rely on Tesla making the majority of its profits on the individual car sale. I did not invest in Tesla because of how great the economics are in the car industry. In fact, the auto industry is known for having terrible economics. I invested in Tesla because of their technology that they are working to bring to market in a big way. I've also invested in them because of how their team has shown their continued work towards innovative solutions to their biggest problems, like the Gigapress and many others, which can generate meaningful value to the bottom line. So when I personally see that Tesla is lowering their margins on their cars, I see this as a massive positive for the long-term vision of Tesla. I say this because as they increase their fleet out there on the road, this will only allow for a larger market to sell their supercharging network and eventually their full self-driving software, which will easily make up for their poor margins on their vehicle sales. And for those of you who are surprised that the margins are compressing, I would ask if you have listened to what Elon Musk has been saying for nearly a decade at this point, which is that he wants the cost of electric vehicles to decrease. The goal was always to lower the price of their cars. And sure, if they could sell them at a 30% margin with infinite demand, they would. But they are not betting the whole company's future profits on their car sales. And that's what I think most people are missing. Now, this is going to be a bold prediction, but I believe that Tesla's cars are like Apple's Macintosh products in the 90s and early 2000s. It is their flagship product that gives them the runway to eventually release their iPhone. Now, I'm not sure if their iPhone moment will be the full self-driving software or the Optimus robot, but I'm fairly certain it'll be one of those. And I understand that this is kind of a bold prediction comparing Tesla's unfinished software and hardware with the most profitable product of all time, being the iPhone. But I do believe Tesla has captured something special with their ecosystem, and I think that that ecosystem in the future will draw far more attention from antitrust lawyers rather than people who are worried about their decreasing margins. And the ecosystem that they are building out with their cars, charging network, and software is something that will give them a strong competitive advantage over any other automaker in the world. And if Tesla is able to perfect this technology of full self-driving, this would disrupt the entire transportation system and force other companies to either adopt this new technology and license it out from them, or lose out on so many customers that just want to not be able to drive their car and have it drive itself. Now, another main reason that I'm invested in Tesla is their culture of cost cutting and their manufacturing capabilities. And Tesla has made it a point to mention that they continue to lower the average cost per vehicle. And this commitment to streamlining their production of their products is one of the reasons I like Tesla as a long-term investment, because you aren't relying on just one product making it big But what you can count on is a strong team that when they put their minds to something can efficiently create and manufacture something that provides real value to the shareholder. And the reason that this is such an attractive quality in a business is because of the fact that they are so vertically integrated across their whole supply chain, which means that if they are focused on making their processes more efficient, that they can drive down the costs of making their vehicles or whatever they end up making, whether that's their batteries or other future hardware products, while at the same time reaching economies of scale, which will provide even more cost savings. Now moving on to the concerns that many had over Elon's rant about working from home and their Cybertruck manufacturing difficulties. Now the first thing I'd say about this is, who cares? I mean, he is a regular person who is clearly very open about his thoughts and opinions and has been like this for quite a while. So either get over it or sell the stock and block him on Twitter. I understand some people think it's unprofessional and pouty, but let's not pretend like he isn't leading 5 companies right now and has been one of the most productive members of society throughout history, completely changing multiple industries forever and creating hundreds of thousands of jobs all around the world. And I don't mean for this to come off as excusing unusual behavior for a CEO or being like a fanboy, but I think if you're invested in Tesla, you should have known the key man risks involved with this investment and come to terms with the off-color comments and jokes that he's gonna make because he's been doing this for so long. And do you really expect him to change? Now, my main takeaway from this quarter is that people who are surprised by the margins compressing in their auto business clearly had their heads in the clouds and should not be holding the stock. The main thesis for their future technology still remains intact, at least for now. And although I've been critiquing the bearish case that many have for Tesla, I want to make it clear that this valuation is very generous for their current financials. And they need to fire on all cylinders in order to maintain the lead that they currently have in their core competencies. And I expect them to show meaningful progress in all of the key points that I mentioned above. Otherwise, I will consider exiting my position. Now with that, I appreciate you watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comments section below. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.